Good morning and welcome to Communication, Collaboration, and Classroom Connections, alliteration. I'm Cameron Steltman, and if you're on Twitter, you can find me at Mr. Steltman. So, what are we doing today? Well, today we are just really looking into, if I wanted to summarize it, it would be looking into the idea of intrinsic motivation. How do we motivate our students to want to be at school? How do we encourage them to realize that their education is theirs and that they can really take an active role in their own education? I feel like that builds the most community in classes. So, how do you build intrinsic motivation? Well, you offer autonomy, mastery, and purpose. And autonomy is giving students the power to choose. You're just adding choice into their life. And mastery is the idea that they can get good at something and celebrating those successes, as well as purpose is making sure that the things that they're doing aren't just busy work. That everything that they do in class has a purpose, and that you talk about that purpose and you talk about your own purpose. So really explaining that why. And if you build in that autonomy, that mastery and purpose, you're really going to see a difference in your classroom community. So how does that happen in my class? Well, our class is all about routine and expectation. So for us, with a set schedule, my students really like the idea that they know what's going to happen every day. It eases a lot of their anxieties about what could go on, and really just opens up the idea that, hey, inside of this schedule, anything can happen, but this is our schedule. We know that we do this on Mondays. We know that this happens on Tuesdays, etc. When asking my students about what I should talk about for what works well in our class, the majority of them said, make sure you talk about our agenda and our schedule. So that I really wanted to show. So what does that look like? Well, for me, it's really embedded practices. So in our class, we've got morning math. There's always two questions, and I'm going to show you all this in a minute. We have a different writing task every day. Mondays we write write with Jason Reynolds. Tuesdays we do power writing. Wednesdays we do emoji writing, and Thursdays we listen to a song and do free writing. We make sure we embed reading into the day. So right now we're working on novel studies, which has worked awesome. But another amazing thing to introduce to your students is podcasts. There's podcasts from grades K all the way up. So this is a link to a whole bunch of different podcasts that work really well. Something else we embed in our class is exercise. We've been using Dareby to make sure that we are doing our physical exercise every day, both online and in person. So really working on one thing and just building a success together. It's a teamwork thing. We work together to have this success. The other routine is that my students know every single week. Oh, there I am. Hello. Know that every single week they have homework. Now, the homework is not connected to the work they're doing in class. The math concept may be similar, but it may be completely different. And what the homework is it's just designed to enhance responsibility for them, just to say, hey, you've got these 4 things. It comes out every single Friday morning and it's due, or it comes out every Thursday after school and it's due the following Friday morning. So you have 8 days. Schedule yourself so you can do it. And what it does is it encourages writing. So we have a blog post on my blog. Every single week they respond to a post that I create. There's a family math challenge. So you sit down and you work together with your family or siblings to create an answer to a math question. And it's awesome. And then the third thing tends to be a news article. So what are we doing? What's happening in the news? As well as then our fourth thing is more exercise that they can do. Just encouraging all aspects of a well-rounded life and a well-rounded being so that our students can really see how they can get better and find success in each of these different aspects. So how do you keep it all together? How do you keep it all organized? How do you build all of these things? So for me, I also need that kind of structure in my life to kind of make that happen. So to do that, I do it all through visible day plans. I have a Google Drive folder, and it's visible here. And what it is it's every single day as a Google slide laid out. So let me show you what that looks like. So for online learning, looks almost exactly the same as in-person learning, but our days that we can really embed those different practices that I spoke about right into your daily schedule so that you don't get lost, so that you don't get confused. So it starts out in the morning with morning math questions. So when students come in, they choose a question. So again, we're building that autonomy. They have a choice of which question they want to answer. And then for online, making it really clear, this is what they liked the most, was having checklists, just saying, hey, these are the things you have to get done by the end of the day, or these are the things that needed to be done by Monday. And then what are we actually doing today? So building in each of those aspects for what you need to do. I encourage conversation. We have so much conversation. So you can see here, we were talking about this talk, saying, hey, well, what should I talk to teachers about? Like, what do they want? What should they know about why our class is going well? And do you think our class goes well? And on the most part, they really did. And they thought this was something that we should share. Like I said, we embed writing. So you can use YouTube videos to put timers in there, press play, students see a countdown, and we focus on different aspects of a story on Wednesdays when we do our emoji writing. here's the exercise. So we go through and we do the different pieces of exercise every single day. And then you can introduce new assignments. Google Slides is so great because it's wide open and allows you to showcase your talents too, and your passions. So I highly recommend doing this. You can embed estimations, the things that students need to be doing. You're building in your math questions right in there so you can take them up. It's just all possible if you use these slideshows to kind of help you set up your routines. I'm going to show you two now an in-person slideshow, which you will see is almost exactly the same. This day was interesting, though. I don't want you to think that everything just comes easily and it's just going to happen one day. By November here, I had been a little bit frustrated and we were having a real struggle building community with each other. So I spent all night thinking about, well, what are we going to do? So I had every student, we grabbed clipboards and a piece of paper where we had another student's name on it. And we focused on, well, how are we going to be a better class? And we had a full conversation and everybody talked about these things out loud. There was no choice. And the best thing we had was, as a class, I think we could do better if and people really said, these are the things that I'm not enjoying about this class. Can we do this? And because everybody was together and we all had that autonomy, we were all in control of how we were going to make our class a better place. Since then, it has been just an awesome thing. We went outside and we did some teamwork challenges and it was so great. So the seating plan becomes a very important part for me as well. And then, so you can see what we would have normally done, but I skipped some of those things. So there we go. Celebrating student work, finding ways to throw in student pictures, student work. What are the great things your kids have done? They want to see themselves on your screen, especially in those slideshows. And that's so helpful. So you can do that. Then we had some team challenges to build that. You can also use number talks. Number talks are amazing right into Google Slides. You use animations and bing, 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 bing. It all goes through. So Google Slides allows you to be creative and give yourself structure. And then inside of that structure, just like you're doing with your class, you're able to be free and fun and do whatever it is that you think your students would want the most. One thing I like doing is just throwing in GIFs. Students love animated pictures, especially in my grade sixes. We find some silly little things and they just think they're great. So finding ways to just be humorous and show that light side of yourself. The last reason I'll really sell Google Slides to you is the idea of building up priority boards. Set up, like on our whiteboard, there is always what is happening in our class. So my students know that no matter what, they can look up and be like, okay, that is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I should be doing this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this. They still ask lots of questions. They still need me for lots of things, but at least you're giving them that autonomy. They're in control of their day. I know once I do this, then I can do this. You're treating them like an adult and giving them that responsibility so that they can, those high expectations so that they can really achieve. So that's another great thing for Google Slides. So that's really the routine piece in our class. The other things I just wanted to speak through quickly, which I can move my little picture, it's a structure in which you can play and have fun. You can start to show yourself, and that's what we want to see. So how do you build that present presence, that idea that, hey, I'm here and I'm a person and I exist and we like it. So teacher presence is the idea that the more students know you, the more they'll want to learn from you. So there's lots of research that talks about instructor presence and how you show more of yourself, whether it be through pictures of your kids or stuff that's telling stories about your life. That's what happens. So how do you do this? You let the you shine through, whatever that is. If there's things that you're about, things that you're excited for, share it with your students. You have to show them you care. Show them you love the job, even on days that you don't, and show them how to deal with frustration. So when something goes wrong in your lesson plan, walk through your frustration with them, walk through that feeling with them, and let them see that it's not always easy, that it can be hard, and that you can be frustrated. And if you do something wrong, you apologize and be the example for them and be real. The more real you are, the more they're going to want to learn from you. It may all seem like add-ons, but it's not. It's integration. The more we see this idea of building connection, community as integration instead of an add-on, the easier it's going to be for you. Treating your students like adults, setting high expectations, being clear with why you want them to do the things you want them to do will enhance their intrinsic motivation. Students who want to be at school will do better because they want to be there. They like what they're learning. So you can build all of this in and you can make it about the things that you're good at, the things that make you a great teacher or your passions. For me, one of my passions is technology. It really helps me get through a bunch of these things. So I'll share some of the ideas or some of the things I have. So these are all links to different things that you could try to use if you were interested. Screencastify is huge. You can see I'm making this video. PageMarker allows you to write on screens. Google Slides, Google Classroom, Estimistry. So different some math ideas here. Estimistry, Solve Me Mobiles, Estimation 180. I use all those for my morning math questions. Random emoji generators, what I use to do our emoji writing. The podcast list is it'll make a copy for you. It's like 30 different podcasts that are great for students really from grade 2 up. Right is one of the writing prompts I use. And if you're not using Scratch or you haven't tried Scratch yet with your students, they will love the open nature of it, but it also kind of needs some guidance. So for you, if you've never tried it, I built a course on how to do Scratch from the ground up, signing in, creating a class, all the whole 9 yards. There's a self-guided course that you can sign up for, and it'll teach you the whole concept. So that's everything for me. I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to listen. If you ever have any questions or you needed any clarity on any of these ideas, I'm always happy to share. Feel free to hit me up at steltmanc@hdsb.ca or at Mr. Steltman. Again, thanks so much, and just have an awesome day. All right, bye-bye.